Dena seems to be waiting for someone, and she complains at the fact that that person is late. She was about to complain about his specific race when someone in a robe slips by her. She smiles as she creates a portal to teleport after the person. She peeks into a window and sees 5 sky wings gathered together. They talk about how they cannot rely on the king, and that they have no choice but to smash the stained wings Skywing members with their own hands. They then exclaim that they've also got allies on the outside, referring to someone called Jupiter, who despite having no wings, thinks the same way they do. They state that Jupiter has provided them with information in the past, and he was the one who also informed them of the Mixed Wings' plans for war against them. The group are wondering where Jupiter is currently at, since he was supposed to meet them here. Dena teleports away and smiles at the fact that the country was going to be noisier from now on. We then cut back to the demon Jupiter, who is definitely not related to Jupiter, still fighting against Libra. He is struggling, since his power is wind from the wood element, while Libra's is steel from the gold element. She also weighs a ton, which is honestly quite rude to say to a lady, but his wind can't blow her away at all because of that, making Libra the worst possible matchup for him to fight. Jupiter puts on his disguise and gripes at the fact that he has to retreat. He uses his wind to escape, and Libra swears that she'll definitely bring him down the next time they meet. Lufasu's party regrouped to share the information they gathered. Dena shares that the White Wings seem to be preparing themselves for war against the Mixed Wings, and there's someone named Jupiter, which Dena theorizes is a fake name, who is riling them up to take action. Libra shares that she met one of the 7 luminaries, Jupiter, and that they engaged in battle. Lufasu asked Ares if anything had happened during his walk, and he said nothing had happened. Lufasu shared what she found, and said that there is a bronze statue in the Black Town that they're worshipping, which is most likely provoking the White Wings even more. She added that it would be bad if this country and Merak were both destroyed. Dena adds on to Lufasu, and said that if the country fell, then it would destroy the balance the 3 heroes made, and that it's going to give a chance for the demons to invade. Lufasu declares that the priority is to capture both Jupiter and Jupiter. Lufasu then comes to a realization, and she's pretty sure that Jupiter and Jupiter are the same person. Libra tells her that she has come to the same conclusion, since the direction that Jupiter walked in was towards Dena's location. Dena adds on to that, and said that she was tailing a suspicious person into a hidden house where they were supposed to meet Jupiter. So that means that Jupiter was most likely headed towards that house Dena found. Libra then adds on the final piece, which is Jupiter was disguising himself as a human when she found him. Lufasu then concludes that it's very obvious that Jupiter and Jupiter are the same person. Dena understands the agenda and says that all they have to do is capture Jupiter and push all the blame onto him. We then shift over to Jupiter, who is furious at the fact that his plan was foiled by Libra. His plan was to disguise himself as Jupiter to stir up conflict between the Skywings, and then take out Merak after the Skywings have destroyed each other. Someone suddenly approaches Jupiter, making fun of the fact that he was severely beaten up. Jupiter is angry and tells the person that it was their job to keep Lufasu in check, and that was the whole reason they even approached Lufasu in the first place. The person tells Jupiter that they were waiting for him in the meeting place for a long time, and to also not ask them to do the impossible, since there is no way for them to be able to stop the Supreme Leader on their own. They tell Jupiter that they will be able to temporarily restrain Libra for about 20 minutes. Jupiter tells them to keep their promise, and he gives them a magic stone to signal him once Libra is restrained. He once again gets their reassurance, revealing the mysterious person to be Venus from the 7 luminaries. We cut over to Lufasu's party, where Libra informs Lufasu that she hasn't seen Dena in a while. Lufasu tells her not to worry, since Dena can use teleportation magic, and she probably went back to their base to collect money. Libra is surprised that there exists teleportation magic other than escape nowadays. Lufasu suddenly feels a bit weird about that comment, since teleportation magic did not exist 200 years ago, and it also did not exist in the game. Dena returns and announces that she's back from shopping, and both Lufasu and Libra corner her. They then interrogate her and asked her if the teleportation magic she used is escape. Dena confirms it, and Lufasu realized that she wasn't exactly trying to hide her skill. She is upset at the fact that she made a fool of herself and asked Dena who she is. She stated that she existed 200 years ago but humans shouldn't be able to live that long. Dena then retorts by saying that she's a half-elf. Lufasu remembered that you couldn't make mixed-race characters in the game, and she is about to ask Dena about her diverse skills, and Dena responds that she has been training hard for 200 years, so that she wouldn't be treated as a background character ever again. Lufasu realized that she could have just taken a look at Dena's stats, and she found out that Dena was actually quite powerful and is strong enough to fight against the 7 luminaries. Lufasu feels like she's still overlooking something important, but Dena interrupts her thought process and randomly brings up the fact that she can bring Libra anywhere with her teleportation magic. Libra concludes that there would be no problem with this, since she doesn't sense Jupiter's presence in the area. She tells Lufasu that it would take about 10 minutes, and Lufasu agrees to it. Dena and Libra head off into the portal. Lufasu states that there's no way Jupiter would return in such a short noich, but an explosion suddenly occurs in the city. The scene shifts to the castle in Gjallarhorn, where the white-winged skywings are complaining to Merak to get rid of the mixed wings. Merak, however, just sits in silence. He thinks to himself that he had originally built this country for the mixed wings who had lost their homes due to discrimination. However, when the white wings lost their hometown due to one of the 12 heavenly stars, the people allowed them to live in this country, but they started to assert their superiority and began to persecute the mixed wings once again. However, some part of Merak also agrees with them, since he is a white-winged himself. He thinks that he's unsuitable to be the king, and he can only think of one person who is suitable. We then get a flashback of his childhood. Merak's father was the king of the Skywings, and his mother was the queen, so he was always meant to be the king since he was little. However, he saw Lufasu as someone different. She kept moving forward, towards the life that she chose herself. He thought how compared to her, he was a big joke of a king. Merak is suddenly informed that the White Town has just been attacked. Jupiter in disguise helps a female Skywing get out of some rubble. She asked what happened, and he tells her that it was an attack. He yells out to the crowd that the Black Town has attacked them, with the intention of annihilating them. He then awaits for someone else, as the Skywings all point to something in the sky. Agokeros suddenly appears, as he infects both the white Skywings and the mixed Skywings with killing intent. Lufasu observes the situation from above. She wonders if Jupiter was behind this, and that it was too convenient for him to be attacking with Libra gone. However, she realizes that a magic that causes madness is from the moon element, and Libra had told her that Jupiter's element is wood. Ares asked Lufasu what was wrong, and she told him that everyone in the country has been infected with madness. She said that it seems like there's someone other than Jupiter who wants to destroy the country. Ares asks Lufasu what would she do if it was theoretically a member of the 12 heavenly stars who started this riot because of their loyalty to Lufasu, and Lufasu responds that she'll beat the out of them until they stop, and make them work hard to make up for it. Ares thanks Lufasu for her answer, and he tells her that he knows what he has to do now. He tells Lufasu that he'll beat the out of that member until he stops, and Lufasu realizes that one of the 12 heavenly stars is actually involved in this. She tells Ares to wait, as he realizes that the only member in the 12 heavenly stars that can induce madness is Agokeros of the goat. Lufasu is worried, since Ares is one of the weakest members of the 12 heavenly stars, and he'll pretty much lose every fight. She doesn't want him to be hasty, as she prepares to follow his trail. Meanwhile, Jupiter is celebrating and praising Agokeros. He thinks that Agokeros might also kill Merak, which he originally wanted to do himself, but he decided to let it off this time. He gets ready to leave the scene before Libra returns, but someone suddenly calls out to him, revealing themselves to be Libra, shocking Jupiter. Jupiter doesn't believe it, since Libra wasn't supposed to be able to return before 20 minutes was up, and he's furious at Venus, since she only had one job to do, and she still failed. Jupiter attempts to escape with his wind magic, but Libra predicts his movement and slams him to the ground. Jupiter is frustrated since Libra is able to predict his movements, and he uses wind magic to silence everything in his surroundings so that he can get away. However, Libra still manages to catch him, since having one area be completely silent in a noisy town that's in a riot is strange. No matter where Jupiter hid, Libra would just keep on finding him. Jupiter is in complete shock and terror, and Libra announces that if he keeps on trying to escape, then she'll attack him with her move Brachium, which is said to be the most destructive power between the 12 heavenly stars. She begins to count down, and Jupiter begged her not to shoot him and surrenders. He then pees his pants and faints from fear, and Libra declares her mission accomplished. Meanwhile, Ares meets up with Aegokeros, and Aegokeros asks Ares if he's there to stop him. Ares suddenly attacks him, but Aegokeros blocks the attack, as Ares tells him to stop infecting the people with madness, since it's not something that Lufasu wants. Aegokeros, however, tells Ares that it's his way to prove his loyalty to Lufasu by killing the 7 heroes, as he unleashes his attack called Luna Shooter. Ares blocks the attack, but Aegokeros unleashes another attack called Lunatic Rain, which hits him. He is worn out, but he uses his skill measure theme and charges at Aegokeros, declaring that he will definitely stop him. However, Aegokeros fools him with an illusion, as he unleashes his ultimate attack, Deneb Al-Jidi, and fires it at Ares. However, Lufasu suddenly appears and blocks the attack, asking Aegokeros what he was thinking, trying to kill his own ally like that. Aegokeros tears up at the sight of Lufasu, and he starts bawling his eyes out. Lufasu feels awkward since she was originally planning on beating him up, but she changed her mind since Aegokeros was so genuinely worried about her. She tells him to release the citizens from their madness, and she'll forgive his actions. She then tells him to lend his power to her instead of the demons, and that she's on a journey to reclaim the 12 heavenly stars, and he's the 3rd one, to which Aegokeros agrees to. He takes on a human form and joins the party. Ares feels weird since Aegokeros didn't agree to stop when it was him telling him to, but at least they were able to prevent the civil war from happening. However, Aegokeros retorts by saying that the citizens won't stop even after he dispelled his magic, since his magic only amplifies the negative energy that already exists inside of people, so all he did was give them a little push. Dena suddenly appears out of nowhere, declaring that there's a way to stop the civil war. Lufasu asked her where Libra was, and Dena tells her that Libra had sensed Jupiter's presence and went after him. Dena said that if they were able to bring Jupiter in as the mastermind of everything, then they can direct all of the Skywing hatred onto him. Aegokeros suddenly brings up Dena to Lufasu and asks whether she's the advisor with great stealth skills that always blended into the background, and everyone was shocked that he actually recognized her. Meanwhile, the White Wings and the Black Wings are currently at a standoff against each other. Someone suddenly yells out at them to stop, revealing himself to be Merak. Lufasu observes Merak and notes that his appearance is the same, but he's somehow missing a wing. She looks at his stats and found out that he lost his wing to the Demon King. Dena adds on that it's the same thing that happened to Migrez's leg, and that 200 years ago, after the Demon King defeated the 7 heroes, he cursed them and stole a piece of their body from each of them. Something suddenly drops down from the sky, which was revealed to be Libra carrying a tied-up Jupiter. Migrez seems to recognize the golem, but Dena interjects and tells everyone to calm down and listen to her. She introduces him as Jupiter of the 7 luminaries, and says that some of the white-winged skywings would probably recognize his face. She tells everyone that the demons would be the ones who would benefit the most from this conflict, and she tells everyone to think of who actually is the real enemy that they should be hating right now. Dena secretly smiles, which Jupiter takes notice of, and he seems to recognize Dena. However, he gets cut off by all the skywings who wanted to kill him. Jupiter starts yelling, realizing why Libra was able to return so quickly, confusing Lufasu. He suddenly breaks free and charges at Dena, saying that she planned to betray him from the very start. However, he is suddenly pierced by Libra. Jupiter attempts to tell Libra to listen to him. However, Libra refuses, as Jupiter mumbles out that everyone is being deceived by Dena. Libra then decapitates Jupiter, killing him. Lufasu didn't really hear what Jupiter said, as Merak approaches her and asks if she's the owner of Libra, and that if she is, then she should come over to his castle, which Lufasu agrees to, since she wants to confirm whether or not Merak is a player like her. Lufasu's party arrives at Merak's castle, and Merak asks her if she could take off her disguise and show him her face. Lufasu reveals herself to Merak, confirming his suspicions. Lufasu felt a light despair from Merak, similar to when he met Migrez, confirming that he's not a player. She then tells Merak that he seems weaker than he was before, and Merak denies this, saying that he was always weak from the start, and that he's unfit to be king. He then says that it would have been better if Lufasu remained the ruler, and that the 7 heroes really shouldn't have won against her that time. Lufasu is enraged by this, and slams her fist on the table, breaking it and knocking Merak back. She asks Merak if he's making a fool out of her, and tells him that he's one of the 7 heroes who defeated her, and someone like him should not be whimpering like this. Migres tears up at this remark, as Lufasu tells him that she hopes that he would no longer make a fool out of her, and that he should prove that he has the power to fix the current mess. Her party then leaves the scene. Libra asks Lufasu if there was something wrong, and Lufasu replies that it was unlike her to shout like that. However, Libra tells her that her gallant figure is something that would forever be preserved inside of her memory, and that it's unfortunate that they weren't able to leave behind any physical records of her. Lufasu tells Libra to delete the recording and photos. However, Libra then asks Lufasu what photos are supposed to be. Ares asks if it's some kind of magic, and asks Agokaros if he knows, which he responds no. Lufasu suddenly remembers to the first day she arrived in this world, as she brought up the idea of photos to Dena. However, Dena somehow knew what photos are. Lufasu tells Dena that she has something she wants to discuss with her privately, to which Dena smiles at.